us, on this session. So we'll have a look. We managed to catch. Now, believe it or not, okay. Right, we had all of this. Basically, we had five trades all coming down against a trend, all 1 minute, all 5 clearances, absolutely perfect. I think Cameron basically paid his wages in 19 minutes. It was absolutely crazy, but all we did was follow the trail line. The trail line on here is basically where the candle's positions are. If it's pointing down, it's going down. If it's going up, it's going up. Okay, so it's all good on that. Obviously, with the labels, we're going to hopefully find some labels like this coming up for the JPY. Obviously, have to wait for it to be in the overbought area, but that's not too bad. That's all good. Okay, so like I said before, trend line. I keep saying trend line. I don't know why. The trail line. Okay, trail line's a little bit iffy at the moment, but I'm just going to quickly jump to the currency strength meter. Just bear me 1 sec. Okay, so JPY has been weak all day. Okay, but it has managed to pull down trends or go into a bearish trend once or twice on the AUD JPY. Euro JPY, I'm not going to trust the euro today because there's a lot of inconsistencies with the euro. CAD JPY, obviously same strength, so that would actually probably work in our favor. Chef JPY has been acting the weakest, while JPY has been acting the strongest. Okay. So. Oh, okay. What did you do that for? There you go. Is that better? What? Hang on, bear me 1 sec, guys. Hang on, bear me 1 sec. I'm just going to close this down. I don't know.
There you go. You're back.
Oh, okay. What is that? Oh, was it just randomly going around? Oh, okay. Oh my God. Sorry about that, guys. Is it not doing it still? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's working now. Okay. Bear me 1 sec. Sorry about that. Okay. Let me just move all this over here. Some space above me. That's all good. Okay, so I apologize about that. Since Windows update, everything's been going wrong on it. So just have to bear with me, okay? Right. It's actually working. Yeah, it should be. Wow. Okay. Okay, so CAD JPY. So CAD JPY is actually both the same strength. Okay, pretty accurate actually, because CAD and JPY have actually been maneuvering in some really weird ways today, but JPY has always come up the strongest. So let's see what we can find out. If CAD is basically going to go up, I'm going to go with the CAD. If it's going down, then we're going to go with the JPY because they're both the same strength. So it's not too bad. Okay. I'm just going to click refresh, CAD JPY. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Remember, guys, we're on 1 minute or 3 minute fixed on your timers. Make sure that you have, if you're using a pocket option account, make sure that your clock is showing so you know you're on fixed. Select between 1 and 3 minute trades. If you have really Forex account underneath the hang on, I just got to log in. Hang on, wait 1 sec. Okay, so underneath the timer, if you have a VD4X or race options or IQ cent, there is a box saying fixed time. Make sure that is highlighted and click between 1 to 3 minute trades. Okay, so just let you know that we're on fixed time only. We're not going with the broker's time because they can manipulate your trade. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Okay, so price does need to come down a little bit. Has been a little bit high on CAD JPY. Let me see what it is on pocket option. Hopefully, they're all saying, most of them are saying OTC, but if you type in on the search, no, I'm not going to do 40. I'm not going to let you guys do 46%. There's no way. No way on that one. Okay. No, I said I wasn't going to do Euro JPY. GBP JPY maybe. That's fairly consistent on GBP JPY. Look at strength. Okay, British pound is losing strength, so that's good. That's good for us. Let me just quickly find that on pocket option. GBP. Oh man, it's 67%. What's going on? Obviously, you don't want to trade less than 70%. But pocket option doesn't seem to give me any much of a choice. So let's have a look at USD JPY 1 sec. I know that the Japanese yen bought a load of US debt the other day, so USD should actually be pretty weak, while JPY is meant to be the strongest, and it has been on a bearish trend. And now it seems to be going to a bullish trend, but we're going to wait for that crossover on USD JPY. You've all got USD JPY sat at, I think, let me just check that. 75%. So that's a good percentage to be going off on if you're using pocket option account. Biddy Forex is using 85%. Okay, so that's even better. If you have the ability to have two accounts, Biddy Forex and IQ Cent Race Options giving you 85%. Okay, but I'm going to stick with pocket options for the time being. JPY is the weakest out of the two. JPY. But as you can tell, there's a reason why we had a bearish trend happening here. There is a reason for that, because a lot of the US debt was sold to Japan. So Japan is obviously going to be a stronger currency than the USD. So I'm going to sit here and wait for this to come over the top on the stock. MACD is pointing down. The label hits. I'm on the 1 minute chart. Hang on, bear with me 1 second. Okay, now I'm on the 5 minute chart. Okay, so basically, if that 1 minute candle or the label comes up, I'm going to jump in for 1 minute, going in for a sell. Or if it crosses the trail line, then you know that the trend is starting to change direction. Okay. Let's look at the technicals 1 sec. Okay, so everything's telling me it's a strong buy at the moment, 5 minutes, but the 5 minute chart is telling me it's a sell. You've got a sell opportunity coming up. 1 minute is all buy. 5 minutes, there's a sell happening very, very soon on that. You can tell there's more sells than buys on that. So it's setting up for a sell. So we'll be going down. Okay, doesn't look too bad at the moment. Obviously, MACD is giving me a little bit of strength going up, but that's not the end of the world. On that one. Okay. And if you look at your pocket option account, if you have the tick chart, all it's done is built a mountain. That's all it's done. The mountain is literally coming back up, so hopefully it slides back down. JPY, so good. To be honest, I would rather sit here and wait for it to go overbought, but unfortunately, there's not enough hours in the day to do this for you guys. Obviously, you only have like a 1 hour session. So I'm trying to see if I can catch this on the 1 minute chart. Let me see what's happening here. Okay, so we do have, let me just draw support and resistance in there. Okay, so we've got an area there. That zone is pretty much not a bad little zone. So okay, so if this candle comes up to this area here, bounces off of it, that's only zone 1. I don't reckon it'll probably reach zone 2, which is up here. Remember, if you can't find anything that's setting up, then put in your support and resistance. Okay, the label has come up for a down. Label is coming up to come down for 1 minute. Hopefully there's a little bit more strength, but it has started off as a red candle. The label has come up. Hopefully it does start coming back down, because we saw a lot of movement on the downtrend earlier on today, where JPY just surprised the hell out of us. If there's a little bit of a jump, should be a gap forming on this candle. As you can tell, the closer it gets to this line, the weaker it's starting to get. So obviously this one was quite a big candle. This one is kind of rejecting, but the label did come up. So I'm hoping possibly hopefully this candle finishes below the line. If not, then it's no problem, because it's a lesson. But the label was there, and we know that JPY is capable of doing anything. Is it going to drop? Is it going to drop? Oh, this may draw. Oh, that was a shame. That's a shame. Okay. Okay. So the label is starting to come back up with the TMT label on it. But judging what happened to the last candle, I wouldn't necessarily. I'm not going to take that one, because it's actually started to come back up. So it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world on that one. That was only a sort of like kind of an experimental one. Is there going to be a resistance here? It comes to that line, the resistance line there from the previous high price, or where the trend started coming back down, then I'll jump in. If it starts going now, which stock line is coming through the orange resistance line, MACD looks like it's ready to turn over and come back down. Hopefully it does sort of give me a little bit of confirmation on that. It's getting weaker. It did bounce. It's bouncing. It did bounce twice now. Okay, let's wait for this. Let's wait for this. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Come to that area. Let's come to that area. Okay, we've got a label pointing upwards now. This would actually technically be a winning trade at the moment, but I'm waiting it to hit this area. It's bounced off that area. Bit of a jolt there, isn't it? I'm not expecting you guys to take trades at the moment. Obviously, feel comfortable with what you're doing. All I know is this one is setting up to come back down, but I'm hoping it's going to bounce off this area. Will it bounce? Will it bounce? Will it bounce? Price has to come down due to the fact that this zone here was where it actually finally did give way and start coming back down. So it may start coming back down, and I think it has. It came to that area and bounced. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Ugh. If it doesn't work on this one, we'll just wait for it to clear this area. But it does seem to there's a lot of support. It starts off as resistance and then gives you support. Maybe it just won't be our day on this one. I know that this morning was absolutely perfect on this. That's why I'm waiting for the currency to give way and come back down. Okay, so it's entering the area. Entering that area there. So between 113 and 130 is an area for this candle to enter before it starts pulling back down. So wait for this area. Wait for this area. Okay, if it goes, okay, there you go. Came to the area and started going back down. Okay, so it bounced here. You saw the bounce happening on that. Obviously, there's the label. That label absolutely, literally just, it just drives straight through that area there. Hopefully you're going to get a little bit of resistance for us. Hopefully it does. It's a little bit of resistance, coming up. Come on, you can hit that resistance. So if anyone did manage to get in on this trade, it's not a bad trade, to be honest with you. You know, 1 minute wasn't too bad. But obviously I'm not feeling this currency at the moment. Obviously that one on my end did clear. Don't know if any of you's got in on that one, but it came to the area and bounced back down. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to tear myself away from USD JPY for a minute. If any of you did get on that one and clear it, well done. Right, I'm going to go through these like a fine tooth. That's still giving me the label. They're still giving me the label on USD JPY to come down. Stock lines coming down. MACD's crossing over the top. Right, this might actually just drop. USDs. Honestly, would have thought that would have gone, but it's cool. It's cool. USD JPY, that's fine. There was two trade setups on this because we had to wait for it to come over the top. 1 minute, like I said, 1 minutes are risky because obviously anything could happen. This morning we didn't trust the buy trend, so we went in for the sell trend, and it paid off for us. So we'll just move away from these at the moment. So I'm going to go on to I'm going to try Chef JP. I just want to check Chef JPY for a second. See, that's what should have happened. This is what should have happened on USD JPY. Okay, so the trail line is now pointing downwards on that, but obviously it's not giving us a good percentage. Where's the percentage? Oh, 82%. 82% is good, Chef JPY. On Chef JPY. So as you can tell, the trail line's coming down. All the candles are in a position where they need to be. They're underneath the trail line, so we know that trend is pointing downwards. So let's get the pullback out of the way. Having a couple of pullbacks, and hopefully it should return back to its normal rhythm. That one crossed the trail line, started pointing downwards. This one's struggling to pull back. Just remember, a candle this size, whatever you do, the next candle will always give you a pullback. When you've got more than 30 or 40 pips on one candle, it will always pull back on the next candle. So just be wary of that, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue going on that trend. Sometimes you will get a pullback like this because all the energy is gone from this candle here. So that's a very valuable lesson to everyone. When you see a candle like this, think, oh, it's going to go in the same way. You're always going to expect a pullback on this, okay? Just be a little bit wary of that. But then 9 times out of 10, once that pullback has finally cleared, it's sometimes going to give you a rejection. So there's uptrend rejection on this. Hopefully this candle doesn't poise to come back down. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so now there it is. Okay, so it gave me another position on that because I don't firmly believe that there's going to be much change in this. So sell, strong sell on the 5 minute. We still got a sell and a strong sell on the 1 minute. That's some crazy stuff. Yeah. So just remember that you're always going to get some pullbacks coming up because we're in the 1 minute chart at the moment, and there's one 5 minute candle, and amongst that 5 minute candle, you have 5 1 minute candles. That makes sense. So wasn't too bad. That's not too bad. That's good positioning. Remember, if you want to go with the trend for the 3 minutes, hopefully the Swiss franc does kick up a fuss and go back up, but it looks like it's getting weaker. Come on, get weaker, get weaker. That's it. That's it. Is it going to drop? Is it going to drop? Remember, sometimes this time of the day, oh, okay, we'll do that one, that's cool. Sometimes this time of the day, when markets start to slow down, start to close down, sometimes doesn't always work out for us. Haven't really had days like this before. It's actually quite annoying, but they will do what they have to do. 5 minutes, still a sell, still a strong sell. 1 minute, still a strong sell. Remember, guys, all your technicals are in this bit here. So you scroll down to here, in that one there. Okay, so because it's on a bullish trend, the day's range is here. So it's telling you where it's going to go, where they're predicting for the price to finish at 141.507 at the end of the closing day. That's where they're predicting the price is going to be. So this still can go up. This still looks like it can go up to that price. Obviously, 3 minutes going with the trend. I've hit a label on that. MACD does seem to be coming underneath it and going back up. Stock line is sort of a little bit neutral, but hopefully we can get a little bit more strength coming back up. But these, if you're going on a bullish trend with the strength, and obviously 3 minutes doesn't seem to be doing it at the moment, but that's okay. That's okay. Not necessarily the end of the world. If you don't trust the markets, that's entirely up to you. But at the moment, this is still a 3 minute going with the trend. So at the moment, it is heading upwards, giving you the label there. So obviously, entries would be in this label. It's about to cross the trail line. Ideally, hit that trail line. Okay, so it's hit that trail line. And the trail line started pointing up a little bit. So we may get a pullback, may get a pullback on this. Maybe start getting a little bit of a pullback on this slightly. But at the moment, see, I have this gut feeling. I have this gut feeling because JPYs have been really, really strong for the past 2 weeks. That it's given me some sort of negative percentage on what it's actually doing. Because at the moment, these trades here, these trades were all setting up to come back up. MACD was good, stock line was good, but the JPY is still the weakest. Still the weakest currency, and it's managing to pull this. That's ridiculous. So in theory, this is where you've got to look out, guys. Honestly, you've got to be very, very careful. This is why I find it very difficult to trade against JPY because of stuff like this, where you know you're going with the trend, you're in for 3 minutes, price is coming back up, but then all of a sudden it pulls a candle down like this, and then it ends up losing the trade. But this one looks like it's coming back up to my entry point. And if any of you to take on 3 minutes, it does it's coming back up to the entry point. So maybe there was a slight weakness in the Swiss franc, but it does gone above the line now. So not too bad. I'll be quite happy to draw this one if we possibly could. But if it wins, it's all good. No, it's not too bad. It's a little bit sometimes when this sort of stuff happens, you think, okay, it was the wrong call, but it wasn't. It wasn't the wrong call, it was the right call. It's just the way the markets are playing out at the moment. Not great at the moment. Hopefully that one does clear. Yeah, that one did clear. If anyone took that for 3 minutes with that label, you've actually cleared it. Like literally at the start, when that label came up, it was sort of halfway through its cycle, and the label came up and then it just went. Okay. So that was that one. That candle kind of let us down a bit, but it did come back up. It did come back up to the to my entry. I don't know if you guys got in on this one. Let us know in the chat box. But at the moment, it's bouncing off the trail line, which means it's not quite ready yet. That was a shame. That was a shame on this one, because that was actually a pretty good candle. But the good thing I like about the pullbacks is when a candle pulls back, it's giving you a better entry into the trade, because it gives you a better price to go back the opposite way. It's okay, so now these are technically looking at where the trail line is, looking at where the stock line is. We're in the oversold area, but it doesn't necessarily matter. The way that trail line is pointing downwards, these could possibly be 1 minute going with the JPY. So let's see what happens and see where all the candle positions are in the next few minutes. If this goes through the trail line, which I think it might do, then trend may continue going up. But it's not, some weird reason it's not going through, it's touching it and then coming back out. Suddenly did go. Okay. If you look, counting the rejection, it's gone to that point 3 times on this candle. It's come up here, come back down, come up here, come back down. So it's only 3 times. 3 times on that. Is it going to go? Is it going to go through that trail line? It may well do. Okay. The trail line is calling it. Remember, this isn't an EMA or a trend line. This will tell you by each candle which way the candles are positioned, which way they're going. As you can tell, it's gone through it. The trail line's actually starting to point upwards a little bit. So obviously, trend is with the Swiss franc. So I would love this to stay in an uptrend position, because you're probably going to catch 3 or 4 candles going up. Obviously, you're going to get a bit of a pullback at the moment. Remember, this isn't a 1 minute chart. 1 minute chart always gives you pullbacks. But with the 5 minute one, it's kind of difficult to find out where that actually is. That's why we use the 1 minute chart to our advantage. And it does seem to be upwards. Sometimes JPY will do this to you. If you go against them, you obviously, that's taking a big risk to go against them, because anything could happen with them. At any point, it could gain strength and then lose strength and then gain strength again. And at that point, when it gains strength and you're winning, that's when it starts coming below your line or going above your line. That's the real issue. But obviously, we're giving you an opportunity to get in on a trade. The trend line, I keep saying it, trail line is going up. And if you're following the trail line, you're actually clearing this. Entry at 240 would have been ideal, because now that is clearing by 35 points from that mark. Uptrend rejection at the moment. Go back up to that. Go back up to that rejection. So again, possible trades on this. This one, and at the moment, this one looks like it's giving you a better price to go back up because the MACD is in a good position to go back up. The stock line is relatively there. It was pointing up on this one, but obviously it started flattening out when this candle was formed. So hopefully win by the skin of my teeth on this one. I don't know where this candle's come from, guys, so you could bear with it. We had the pullback. This one technically is a pullback, but obviously now it gave you the opportunity to get in at a better price. Okay, so that one, the first entry at 240. That actually cleared in that area. That actually cleared above 240. At the moment, it's gone past through the trail line, and now it's pointing downwards. Does seem to be pointing up a little bit more now. Let's wait for that. Let's wait for the change. Let's wait for the change. Okay. Yeah. A little bit. I'm just trying to put this out. Okay. Bouncing. Last candle gave you downtrend rejection and uptrend on that. But this one seems to be acting like it wants to go up, but it doesn't seem to want to go up. If you know what I mean. It hasn't got the power to do it at the moment. It's there or thereabouts on that, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, so it's finally decided to do what it's meant to do. Give a little bit more strength on the uptrend. Never seen markets like this, having to be changing direction every single candle. Okay, so 244 for a buy would have been good, and 231 for a buy would have been good because at the moment those ones are clearing. There would have been some good win zones. It doesn't matter if they come back down back to that line. The analysis was correct because everything's pointing upwards. The MACD, the stock line, and now the candles pass through the trail line. So again, that's confirmed 3 points to me, and the Swiss franc is the strongest. Okay, so that's 4 points, 4-point trade. Obviously, those pullbacks do sometimes knacker your trades, but this one, if you had taken 2 entries at 231 and at 244, 244, I think would probably edge your seat sort of stuff, but 231 is quite far away from your entry point. At the moment, they're both clearing on that. It's a little bit difficult to mark out a target zone on markets like this at the moment because obviously they're a little bit inconsistent. You're waiting for the break. You're waiting for the support to come into play to bring the candles back up. And to be honest, the support never really came into play. Not on these 2 candles anyway. I mean, the support line would probably be around here, but it never actually went back to that point. But it actually cleared another trade on that one. The first one, so that'd be 240. 240 would have cleared, and now it's coming back down to 231. So obviously 19 seconds left on that. Just going by the principle following that trail line, obviously really inconsistent on this one. It has been really inconsistent where price has gone up and then shot back down again. Okay, that was a draw, but you see what I mean? These are 1 minute. Now they've changed direction to 1 minute trades. The label has come up, and they're 1 minute going against the trend because JPY is just pulling this down. Obviously, you have to be a little bit quick on that if you wasn't expecting it, but the label did show up, and that is now dropping. Good entry at 219 at the moment, so it is coming from 219. 219 for a sell. When the label came up, there was something was going to happen on this candle anyway. It just does not want to come. It does not want to get out of the doesn't want to go to the overbought area. It just wants to stay in the oversold area. This is the power of JPY. They will pull candles down like this to get themselves back into the game. So if anyone did manage to grab this label that was quick enough to grab it and cleared it, well done on that one, because that was actually a pretty good candle to get a label on. Okay, so now we have to swap and change. Swiss franc is the strongest, so if the green label comes up to go back up, I will take that for 3 minutes. Basically, we're swapping and changing. Okay, if you look at the consistency on this line here, everything came down, broke into consolidation. We want the trend to break out of consolidation to be able to take those consistent trades. Okay, 5 minutes, all telling me this is a sell. There's a sell opportunity on the 5-minute chart. Let me check the 1 minute. And it's sell again. Okay, use the technicals to your advantage. Because to be honest, I would actually rather believe the sell trend, so the JPY trend. Because it pulled a candle like that. That one pulled up. That was a winning trade. That one closed there. That was a winning trade. So again, in amongst these labels, you know, there's a 5 and 0. There's a 5 and 0 part around, you know, in these 5 candles. Oh, okay. So yeah, hopefully there is a lot of movement on these. I must admit there's a lot of movement on them. So I'm going to try and find a currency pair that's going to be a little bit more stable. That seems to be that's consolidation. That one is very wicky today. AUD USD. Give me 1 sec. Let me just check this out. AUD USD. 80% on that. That looks a little bit more consistent than the one we've just been on, but it weren't too bad. It weren't too bad, you know. Is it acceptable to have losses like that because you know you've done everything right? Okay, if you've done something wrong, you kind of kick yourself afterwards, but don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. So AUD USD. So USD is the strongest. So technically, looking at this, let's have a look at the last drop from where it was. So that's quite big, that one. So that one didn't necessarily drop. It was around this area, wasn't it? That's where the area was, where it dropped back down. Yeah. Okay, if you're following the trend, USD is the strongest. Okay, if you're following that trend, okay, so mark this area up here, because if there's a bounce off this line and USD is the strongest, then I'm jumping in for 3 minutes. I'm hoping it does it. I'm hoping it does, and then go back the opposite way, because you had quite a strong directional change on this bit here. So I mark that up. Let me have a look at yesterday and today. So if you look at this, okay, so we're going to have a weak spot there from where this candle finished and come back down. So hopefully we get a good 2 or 3 candles of downtrend or bearish trend. Doesn't seem to be doing what we were supposed to do. Okay, there was a bounce here, like I said, on that one. So at the moment, yes, technically it is winning. Was it 671? So what's that? Yeah, so no, sorry, 261 entry for a sell on this line. Did bounce, but it seems to be bouncing back up again. So again, we can only do what we can with what the markets are giving us. And at the moment is it's only, you know, above me line by 1 point. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, no, you can have. I always tend to take multiple trades on the candles, because every time you take a trade and it goes back up or goes back down, it's giving you another opportunity to go back the opposite way, and that's how it works. But the minute it goes through that trail line, if you've got a good strength with one directional change, then it will just follow suit. But it's broken that area. It's bounced off that area. That's not too bad, not too bad. We're just waiting for that dramatic drop. Oh, 1 sec. It's really changed on the AUD side. USD hasn't changed. Okay, that is just absolutely sickening to see that. Hang on, bear me once. Oh my days. That's some crazy stuff. That's some crazy stuff. That's dropping like mad. So if you manage to get multiple entries into this, this is most probably gonna be a 3-0 win. Because that trail line, it just pointed down, the candle went through it. So one has cleared on this, one has cleared. If we just follow that trail line, if you see it's just pointing downwards, USD is the strongest. So it's a no-brainer, 3 minutes, heading back down. And at the moment, right, one's winning by 53 points, the other one's got 61 points. And this is the reason why we don't use rollover, because we have to nail those trades in at a good point. Did anyone get in on this? These are all 3 minutes. USD dropped dramatically, you know, well, in massive fashion, actually, to be fair. So if any of you did get on this, put it in the chat box for me, so you get on. These were definitely good. There was definitely a sell happening, because I showed you the technicals and there was loads of sells happening. So it was going to happen. Gone through the trail line, now starting to point downwards on the trail line. MACD is coming over the top. That's the second one that's cleared. Hopefully the third one clears, and that'll be 3-0 on that. But remember, if you miss the trade or get in too late, there's always an opportunity again to take another one. When you use the 1 minute chart to your advantage to see where those weak spots are, see the bouncing of the candles, and then quickly jump to 5 minutes. Okay, so if you look at it, the zone that I marked up was technically on the 5 minute chart. It bounced off, went through it and bounced off of it. So technically that was the correct trade to take. There's all 3 minutes going with the USD at the moment. I've got one more. I've got 25 seconds left, so 43 points in the clear at the moment. That's all right, can be no worries. In there for 2 minutes. What was your entry? Could you, if that's possible, to let us know? What was your entry number? Okay, so that's 3-0 on AUD USD. My entries were pretty close together. It just didn't really go up as much. So 250 the first one, 261 the second one, and 265 the third one. So didn't actually do that much movement on the uptrend. It just came shooting back down. So obviously 3 entries on that. It's just absolutely crazy. To find out your entries, Kemi, just go to closed trades or whatever, or open up the one that's open and click on it and say open price or whatever, and then put in the chat box for us and I'll see how you're getting on. Because remember, I know this is your first session, and obviously because these markets aren't exactly forming the way that they're supposed to form, hopefully tomorrow there'll be a lot better for you. We do have there is a session with Ali tomorrow, and he'll be marking up support and resistance and stuff like that, and he's normally pretty good at that. So no, that's all right. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, check it out for us, and then we'll see how good it was for what you cleared it by. But at the moment, USD is bringing this down. It had a weak MACD here, but because of the 1 minute chart, everything was coming down. Pulled this candle, gave you a red flag to come down. It'll be good. Do you know what? It'll be good to come away with, you know, a few good wins on this, because I'm going to be honest, at this precise moment in time, I'm not feeling 100% comfortable with trading these markets, but I do them because obviously it's for you guys. So you guys, you know, we all win and lose together. But at the moment, I cleared 3-0 on AUD USD. I did 1-1 on what was the other one? I think it was JPY. I don't know, Chef JPY. Cleared 1-1 on that. So it's 4-1. So it's 4-1 on that session. 230. Oh, wow. Okay, so you've cleared those trades. I'm assuming you've cleared those, yeah? That's actually not bad. If you cleared those ones, well done. That's absolutely perfect. Remember, our analysis goes on the trail line. It's pointing downwards. Okay, so there's one confirmation. If you're oversold, it really doesn't matter because you're going with the USD. The USD is the strongest. Or you can just simply wait for the label. You're going to get a bit of a pullback here. It's not the end of the world, but I still give you an opportunity to take a 1 minute going against USD when the labels come up. Okay, but they don't always win because going against the trend is really risky. Okay, but seeing as you cleared that trade, was that your first trade you cleared on here? Did you take any others, or was that you just traded now? You just let us know in the chat box. Okay, so it's the first trade you've taken and you cleared it. Okay, that's absolutely fine. You see, now different parts of the day, the markets do certain things, obviously in a weird way. Sometimes they're really consistent and free flowing. Like in the mornings, they're absolutely fine. Come around to 5 o'clock, they can slow down a little bit, but this is probably the first session I've had where everything seems to be out of shape. You know, everything seems to be out of shape. So I don't know if Sonia's taking any trades. Yeah, Sonia, let us know in the chat box for us if you take any trades because these are a little bit out of sync. The markets. I mean, the JPYs, if they were consistent enough, I'd feel comfortable trading with the JPY, but they just don't seem to be consistent enough. So I'm not going to put you guys through that. But at the moment, AUD USD is giving me a bearish trend at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on this because if this continues going down, which I think it will do, there's still entries available. There's still entries available on AUD USD, depending on where the trail line is going. I still got like 2 minutes and 48 seconds left on this. You know, the entry, if you was going to jump in early, probably would have been around the 199 mark. But obviously, because it started off with a TMT label going up, a little bit hesitant sometimes to go back the opposite way, but it did come back the opposite way. So use the pullbacks to your advantage. Move up with the trend, and then come back down. Oh, okay. It's okay, Sonia. It's okay. Don't worry. To be honest, I don't expect anyone to take these trades because, to be honest, a lot of them were inconsistent. So I apologize about that. Obviously, markets haven't been great this afternoon. I don't know why because nothing's really telling me that it's going to get worse. If you go even on like, let's have a look at Forex Factor a second. I know for a fact. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Sonia. Don't worry. That's cool. That's cool. We move on to tomorrow. So the only thing that really should be kicking up a fuss is USD, but it's not. USD is consistent enough to trade, but there's a lot of news on it. But currencies like the Japanese yen had news at 12:30, you know, this morning, and nothing's really affecting it. But USD is the one that should be affected the most, but it doesn't seem to be affected. So it's okay, Sonia. Don't worry. I came away from the JPYs because obviously I didn't want to get you guys to trade any of those JPYs. It's absolutely horrible. But I'm assuming the one that you did win was on AUD USD. I'm just assuming that. Yeah, that wasn't great on the JPYs. But however, that's my mistake. I apologize. But we always move on to the next day. Tomorrow will be a better day. Ali will be doing another session. Yeah, it's okay, Sonia. It's okay. I mean, I'm assuming they were 1% trades. You know, we're not risking a lot because obviously you saw the state of the market. So I'm assuming you did 1%. I'm assuming that anyway. Let me know in the chat box. That's it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, guys, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Okay, yeah, 1%. Okay, Sonia, so that's perfect. Okay, so we didn't risk a lot. That's fine. I don't. If we're doing like 4 trades at 3%, you know, I kind of get to the point where more than you know 2 losses, I'll stop completely. But the markets have been there today, but obviously the times of the day was wrong. So it's not a problem because I know that we are going to have good days, we are going to have bad days. But I'm going to be honest, it's the first session where I've seen markets like this. So obviously, preparation is the key on when you're trading. Obviously, CAD JPY wasn't great. Chef JPY was okay-ish. I still managed to get a trade on that, but I think AUD USD was the one that's pretty much fairly consistent. Yeah, so it's all good, guys. Honestly, I appreciate you coming on. There will be a session tomorrow. We'll notify you in the Discord, or we'll send you a text or something. But yeah, no. Good session, all round. So they're all lessons. They're all lessons. Every time we come to the markets, these are all lessons that we have to learn. Some days they'll be good. Some days they'll be bad. Okay, so Sonia, don't worry about that. Pick yourself up. You're all good. It's all right. 1%. You did the right thing. Never 3% on these markets. Never again. So 1%. You did your risk management. That's good. Okay, so onwards and upwards tomorrow. There'll be a message in the Discord for you guys to have a look at, see if you can schedule time tomorrow to come onto his call, because he is good at marking up support and resistance. And yeah, it's all good, guys. Thank you very much for coming on, and we'll see you tomorrow, whatever time it will be. Okay, see you later, guys.
Thank you.
No.